Just two adjacent girls living in a lovely world. They took a podcast train going anywhere, but kind of specifically through Austin, Texas. Yeah, hook 'em horns.
Adjacent, very near, next to, or touching. Our tailgate is adjacent to the left field fence. ADJACENT, adjacent.
Welcome back, y'all. Here we are with Adjacent. We're so glad you're here.
It's the new year.
Can't believe it. We made it.
2025. We did it.
We did it. I cannot believe it.
We're very excited to have a full year of interviews, our first full year of interviews, and lots of surprises.
Oh my goodness. And we have a doozy for you today. This is, drum roll. Who is it, Shelly?
It's Mary Wynn.
John's sister. You guys are going to love her. She's amazing. Amazing.
When Jordan heard her story, she was moved. Jordan, our producer, when she listened to the interview, she was, most of the interviews have had her laughing, but she was like, okay, well, I have to order this book. I can't wait for Mary to come back on. She sounds incredible. What a story. And we can't wait to share it with you and hope that someday we can interview everybody from Corpus Christi that lived in that fun house.
10 ladies living together.
It sounds so fun. I have to say, when Jody and John got married, I immediately connected with Mary. We just, I felt like she was a sister. I enjoyed her company, and she was always thought provoking and engaging and such. I was so grateful that she was going to be such a main character in Jody's life and my nieces and nephew. And she's just a stellar human.
You're going to be able to feel so relaxed when you hear her voice because she definitely has that counselor's voice. She studied as a counselor for many years and worked tirelessly to help all people of all different backgrounds, from children to adults to victims of abuse to people who have struggled with criminal activities and addiction. So she is definitely someone I admire. I feel so blessed to have her in my life. She's a Scorpio, and with the Scorpio, she does have a lot of the characteristics of a Scorpio. She connects with her dreams, making them into reality. She balances her emotions for personal growth. She's always trying to grow herself, and it's so inspirational. You feel such a connection to her. She's an amazing listener, of course, as a counselor. And her famous Scorpios were Katy Perry, Kris Jenner, Bill Gates, Drake, David Schwimmer, Matthew McConaughey, and Ryan Reynolds. I'd say she has like a Matthew McConaughey vibe.
Well, I thought Kris Jenner, but okay. Just joking. She's the opposite of Kris Jenner. And I did write down when I was thinking about Mary is that she's the stable to our barrel.
Oh my gosh, yes. But she enjoys the show, I think.
Oh, she loves the show. And so
another great thing about her is her wife is Joanna and her child is Emmett. And Emmett is just a peaceful, kind human. And of course, having Mary as a mom, you'd expect nothing less because that's what she brings to every situation. Peace and love and understanding. So without further ado,
we have Mary Susan Wynn, my sister-in-law.
oh,
But my sister. I
yeah,
love
we
her
call
so
her sister for
much.
sure.
She is
all the way from Fort Collins, Colorado.
Fort Collins, and she is John's sister. So
John's favorite sister.
very favorite for sure. Yes, we have so many great questions to ask you. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right.
I'm ready.
So, how many places have you lived?
Geez, that's a question. Well, I grew up in Natchitoches,
Where
Louisiana.
were you born?
I was born in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Okay.
Moved to Natchitoches in the 3rd grade and lived there through high school. And then I went off to college. I was 17 when I went to college, which was
You were.
shocking. I mean, like now I'd be scared for myself, but
Yeah.
back then. And I went away to college. I didn't know anybody. Played tennis at Southeastern Louisiana, which is in Hammond, near New Orleans. So it's where I met a lot of my New Orleans folk, and do what you do when you're 17 and
Yes.
Yeah.
free agent down there.
Free
Free agent. So fun.
Anyway,
Untethered.
Untethered.
yes. So lived there. I graduated finally. I couldn't handle too much of that, so I ended up graduating from Louisiana Tech in Ruston, which is where my grandparents were.
That's right.
He was an engineering professor there. So I went and got to spend like a year with my grandparents, and in their older years, and that was super fun. And I would go with my grandfather. We called him Big Daddy. I would take him to the Louisiana Tech women's basketball games.
Uh-huh.
And Kim Mulkey was the point guard.
Oh, what?
Wow.
And he was a big women's basketball advocate. And so that was really cool. I got to see her play,
Uh-huh.
and I would shoot hoops around and, play tennis and stuff like that. So I would tell people that I played basketball at Louisiana Tech, and people thought, oh my God, you and Mulkey. And I didn't correct that at all. I just let that ride.
I just was playing horse outside.
Yeah, but,
I mean,
I wasn't lying technically, but anyway.
I love that.
After that, I graduated and moved to, I didn't know what I was going to do whatsoever. Graduated in March of 83. And Bob said he lived in Corpus, and he said, why don't you come down and live, behind my house? I have a little
Casita.
Yeah, a little casita. And so I moved to Corpus, and he and I bought a Jeep, with no top, and we, did the summer. Like,
What fun memories.
it was fun. And that's when I went out with my first lady friend, I guess.
Yes.
you could say. Anyway, so got involved in the kind of the gay scene in Corpus, and it was crazy. And anyway, that's a side
Oh,
bar
I love
there,
it.
But,
no.
I love it.
I had no idea.
So you waited that long before you dated?
Yes, I dated guys all through high school and college. Too scary, and didn't really.
Well, and you were in Louisiana. It was a different time.
Yeah, and there were really no role models to.
Mhm.
It was kind of a scary time to be, put a label on it or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
Anyway, moved to Corpus, and anyway, that's a cool story.
What a fun adventure.
Yeah, I
Love
had no
that.
idea. Y'all came via Corpus Christi.
Mhm.
Yes, because of Bob.
Yeah, and so
Did you spend a lot of time at Port A when you lived down there?
I my first girlfriend, Kathy Dean.
Kathy Dean.
She's so awesome. Just had lunch with her the other day.
I love
I know.
that.
She's so great. But she and her parents had a house on the canals there in Flower Bluff, which is near Port A.
Oh, yeah.
Right on this other side of the bridge. And her parents, her dad was a hospital administrator and was working in Saudi Arabia. And so she had this house there.
Nice.
And so that particular summer, there were like 10 women living in that house, and it was so
man.
much fun.
Fun.
And Kathy and I got jobs at a restaurant in Port A, and I was a bartender. I think she was waiting tables or whatever, but it
What
was
was
a
the
blast.
restaurant?
It was the Blue Marlin.
Oh,
It was right
of
by
course.
by the Wharf Cat, or right down there by the by the ferry and all that.
How fun.
But that was super fun. I was like
That was probably a dream.
making drinks and shucking oysters and making lots of cash, and that was like
oh
really
my
super
gosh.
fun.
And then living your dream, the house of
Oh
just
my
like
gosh.
ladies.
so fun.
I mean, it was
How fun.
like a
Yeah, I want to see
Fun.
some pictures of those times.
You know, and it's, my life was full of, thank God there wasn't, cell phones and, Instagram. back then. You know what I mean? I'm sure
Agreed.
y'all would agree with
Oh,
some of that.
100.
If everything had been recorded, we would be in jail.
Oh, I mean, we're like, please stop.
Oh, gosh.
And luckily our friend circles are pretty good about it. Don't record anything.
They don't really sit on their phone
Yeah.
unless they're gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah. But everybody knows, you do one and it's on.
Yes.
So
you moved from Corpus to
San Antonio.
San Antonio.
Lived there for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
San Antonio.
Wow.
And
Yes.
I love San Antonio.
I love San Antonio.
well, when I moved to Corpus, I got a job at the Corpus Christi Country Club as a tennis pro.
That's right.
Because I played tennis in college and high school. And, I did that and it was a blast, So I'm at this frat house with, all these women and, I shouldn't be saying this, but like
I love it.
every night of the week, we would figure out where ladies' night was. And we would all meet up and
nice.
Free drinks for the ladies. So we had our little, oh man, we just had a blast. It was
Shelly would go to Dallas nightclub for
Wine Me
Dime Me 69 Me. And she had VIL card, the very important lady.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
That place.
Oh my god.
So we had a squad, and it was super fun. And then I was doing the country club thing during the day with, all the fancy ladies teaching them clinics and all that. I mean, it was
So
it was so fun. And then I got a call from my mom. And she's like, you have to get a real job. This is not a real job. You're, and I'm like,
Martha, got a call from Martha.
So I went to see.
I would just tell her I did.
Yeah.
How would she know? You're all the way in Corpus.
I know. So I took some ed classes and I did my student teaching there in Corpus at a middle school. And I love that. It was so good. But back then, you would student teach and they would give you the best teacher's class.
Yes.
And she was great, had the class on point, and she would go away and you'd go in and it was all good, right? Yeah. And then you go to a real, your first job and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like
getting dropped into the boiling pit. I know, I get it.
But that student teaching experience, I was in the classroom and it was the challenger. Everybody was,
you're the challenger.
so we were all gathered around the TV to watch the
I
challenger.
remember that.
And that was like
heavy.
Oh, I was in that at Czech middle school when that happened.
Nah.
It was terrible.
And that's before we knew about not having kids watch drama over and over.
They
you know what I
wheeled
mean?
the TV in and we watched it.
I know.
And
whole
I think
thing.
it is a memory most of our generation can pull up immediately because it affected us so much.
Yes, so sad.
Yeah.
So you taught at a middle school?
Yeah, that was my student teaching. And then I moved to San Antonio and got a job at Judson High School, which was one of the largest high schools in Texas.
Judson,
yeah.
Right.
So I was a history teacher and a tennis coach.
So
And,
fun. Still great.
Still having the fun.
Look at you walking down memory lane.
Yeah. So San
I
Antonio.
love it.
And then I moved from San Antonio, I moved to Washington, D.C.
I remember
for a little over a year. And then I moved to Austin, Texas, and lived there for 12 or 13 years.
Yes.
And then Joanna, my wife, and I, and son Emmett, who's 13, we moved to Fort Collins. It'll be 3 years in March.
Wow.
That's
Don't
isn't
you
that
love
crazy?
it? I love that town.
So
You're loving it over there.
I'm in where I should be. It's like I'm in my element.
Oh my God. You're on the
Well.
second mountain. Have you read the second mountain?
No.
Oh, please read it.
I will. I
Yeah,
will.
it's so good.
Yeah, it was really anytime you move like that away from your family and your everything you've known for a long time.
I think it's
It's hard.
brave. I
Well,
love it when
thanks.
people take adventures in their lives. I've been doing the same thing forever. So,
Yeah, no, I
Um,
appreciate that.
but I love that you and your family moved, and built a house. And one of the great things is you retired and now you're getting to do something amazing. Tell us about it, Mary. I love this.
So I spent 30 years in education I was 6 years as a teacher and then a counselor for like almost 4 years.
And she was counselor of the year for the whole district.
Yes.
Thank you, Jody.
And
Thank you.
she you worked at a rape crisis center for a while.
Yeah, I worked at the Bexar County Jail, and that was an amazing experience. And then I worked at the Rape Crisis Center. I did educational outreach, was amazing.
Yes.
And as being a teacher before, I did a lot of stuff with all the high schools and middle schools in San Antonio. I did stuff with all of them. And we did a citywide dating violence summit with kids from all the high schools in the area. And we got the Greg Popovich and the Spurs Foundation to help sponsor. It was like super cool.
Wow.
Because I had a boss there. He was Ron Aaron. He was a radio personality in San Antonio, and he had all the connections. And so he and I started working at the Rape Crisis Center at the same time, and he was all about do whatever you want. And I'm like, well, let me do all this with the high schools. And then he would say, come talk to this group and this group. And we just did all kind of amazing, things in the community.
It sounds like somebody saw you and went, hey, she can do a lot. Let's let her go. Let's let her do her magic.
Well, I think that the person that had the job before would just like sit in an office and wait for somebody to call for like a presentation. And I'm like, oh no,
let's go.
I'm like, let's put it out there. And because I'd worked in the jail in San Antonio, like I had connections with drug treatment facilities and the state jails and all that. So I went to all those places. I had just amazing experiences I would talk to like groups of like 100 inmates or, all kind of situations. And actually a funny story.
Yes.
I went and spoke at it's a state jail and they had a drug treatment program. And I went and talked, it was like 100 men, and I talked to them just about, what is, consent. So many of the young men in that situation had been through such abuse and, inappropriate sexual contact as young people.
Right.
And it really affected their lives and led to a lot of drug use. And, it resonated with a lot of the young people. But after my presentation, this guy came up to me just totally, tatted and, whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. Hey, come on up. And he said, are you John Wynn's sister? And I'm like, well, yeah. And he's like, well, I forgot his name, but he said, I'm so-and-so, and I live next door to John at the whatever apartment. Yeah, on Fruit, the apartments. And anyway, he was sweet, and we had a really nice conversation, but kind of scared me at first. Like,
why does John?
I'm like, why?
That's
That's so crazy.
Anyway.
John has a lot of fun characters in his life, for sure. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Wow, you did. And I remember you received so many awards, and then somebody wrote about you in one of their books. What was that? Somebody you were...
do a shout out for them.
Well, a little bit of a story, but when I was a teacher at Judson High School, I was a ninth grade history teacher. And I loved all the kids that were kind of the, outliers, and that the other teachers like didn't want in their class. And,
yes, those are my favorite
hated,
too.
And so I kind of got that reputation, and one day I was teaching my class and there was a commotion in the hallway.
You were in charge of the Misfit Island.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Misfit
for
toys.
sure.
All the
For
Misfit
sure.
toys.
I heard like commotion in the hallway, and I stuck my head out, and this one of my colleagues' teacher was like, dressing down this kid, and he was, giving it back to him or whatever. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? Like, he's like, I can't stand this kid, and, he needs to be out of my class, and blah. And I'm like,
So sad.
come on,
Hey,
come in here. So I brought him into my class, and he was just this super smart, young, like just gangbanger, just angry, but so smart.
Yes.
Too smart for school.
Right.
He would just call bullshit on all the rules and
Yeah.
and I just loved
I
it.
love that. Too smart for school.
We have,
Uh-huh.
I have
Yeah.
a lot
You
of
know
my
what I
kids that
mean?
struggle. It's because they're just so much more
They're-
advanced.
Yeah.
Just that conformity and all, they just can't handle it.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so I had him in my class for a couple of months, and I loved it. I loved the banter. We would, but I knew he wasn't going to last very long. So he got into a big scrape with the principal, and he got suspended. And I lost track of him. I didn't know what happened to him. But so fast forward to this job at the Rape Crisis Center when I was doing outreach in prisons, and I went to a class they had at the state jail for young men who were going to be coming out in the next couple of years,
Right.
kind of teaching them,
Transitioning out.
life skills that they would need and so forth. And so I went in, and it was very formal. Like we couldn't have a lot of interaction with the inmates at that facility. But in doing the class, one of the young men, he looked familiar to me. And I was like, man, I wonder if that was, that student that I'd had.
Yes.
And when I got back to my office, it was before email or whatever, but I reached out to the teacher of the class, and I said, was one of the kids named Christian in your class? And he said, yes. And he recognized you and said you were his teacher. And
It's like, are you John Wynn's sister?
and I said, well, can I write him? And so he said, yeah, you can, but, it'll be read and censored and whatever. I'm like, well, I'm not going to write anything,
Yeah.
So I wrote him this letter, just kind of encouraging him to, take advantage of all the programs and all the things. And he wrote me back. And so we started this correspondence. And I learned so much from him. He started to write me about how he got involved in gang life and his anger and where all that came from. And he was bullied severely because he was a very slight build kid, and he got bullied a lot. And he wrote to me this incident about where these kids were, after school, they were chasing him for like his lunch money or whatever. And this one kid was like, beating him up or whatever. And he said he grabbed the kid by the back of the head and pushed his face down in this ant bed.
Gosh.
And the kid was screaming. And he said, for the first time in my life, I felt power over another person after it had been done to me all this time, And he said the other kids started looking at him differently.
Right.
And they became scared of him, or like this weird, like, respect
Like you're going to
transfer.
take it even further.
Yeah.
Right. We don't know what you're going to do.
Yeah. And so they started, changing how they, treated him. And then finally they got him into, the gang life, because they saw that, all that interaction. So I learned so much from him about all that really helped me in my career.
Right.
All the kids that I worked with, like I worked in alternative schools and like
Yes.
really hard schools,
She worked at Crockett.
Is that the alternative school?
No.
I worked at an alternative middle school in San Antonio. It was like one of my favorite jobs because all the knowledge, like from the jail, because I'd work with adults who had kids and they talked about how hard it was, for their children because they're incarcerated. And
Yes, it's so heartbreaking.
then the kids that I knew and like that I went to the alternative school, I'm like, here they all are, these kids whose parents are incarcerated or had super hard times. And, so I really
Can be
love
cyclical
that.
for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's such a unique, y'all share that. Definitely, y'all, that skill set to connect so deeply
Yeah.
with a population that most people don't want to be in the same room with, and y'all connect with them so deeply and change their lives. What's the name of his book?
So,
Okay,
we corresponded, and then his mom asked me to write a parole, letter,
right.
which I did. And anyway, he got out, and we lost contact.
Right.
How that goes.
Yep.
And then, I don't know, it was like 6 or 7 years ago during the summer, and Joanna said, "Hey, you want to clean out some of those boxes in the garage during the summer? We have time." So
Right.
I went through and I found this old letter from his mom about that parole letter.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, damn, I wonder what happened to him,
Right.
And I was really fearful that, I didn't
Something
really want
bad
to
had
find out
happened.
because
Yeah.
I thought something bad had happened to him and whatever. So I waited a couple of days and I decided to, Google his name and whatever. So I did. And the first thing that came up was an obituary. And I was like,
Oh, gosh.
damn, oh no. I was just like, crestfallen. Like,
Yes.
but then I looked and it was like somebody who was like 70 years old. I'm like, oh, that's not him. So,
Yeah.
Right.
So anyway, I scrolled down a little bit and it was, his name is Christian Bolden.
Yes.
And his, information came up and guess what he does now, Shelly? Because, I don't think you know this.
No, I don't. I know that he mentions you in a book. That's all I know.
Yeah. He is a professor at Loyola University in New Orleans.
Great?
Wow.
And he's a expert in gangs and, youth violence.
Wow.
And I know.
So he wrote his story and mentioned Mary.
Yeah, he wrote his story, and it's called Out of the Red.
Out of the Red.
And it's a
That's
fascinating book.
Let's read it.
It's
Yes.
Yeah, it's
We
a
have a
fascinating
book club on this
Oh,
podcast.
oh.
So
Yeah. Yeah, I can give you more information, but he's a phenomenal man. And his wife, Ray Taylor, she's a professor also, and her expertise is in human trafficking, sex
Oh,
trafficking,
wow.
and domestic
Just-
violence. I mean, there's such a
all the
power couple.
conversations in that house.
And here's a beautiful thing. They have a son. Maybe he's 5 years old now, but he's like the most precious.
I love that.
And they have a daughter, and she's at Tulane.
Oh my
That was Ray's daughter, before
Yes.
they married. But she's amazing. She's a gift to the world. So they're just fantastic.
I'm so happy. I love to hear when people find a way out of those situations and then taking it upon himself to be, continue to build and work with kids. And
He's such a loved professor. He just takes all of that experience.
Yes.
And like the students love him, and he's, won so many awards and whatnot. But here's another twist. So, I was telling my cousin Mary Livers.
Oh, we
Mary
can't wait.
Livers.
Oh,
Mary Livers is a whole nother.
Oh, yeah.
All the goodness.
Because she's it's my cousin Mary, and her background is corrections, and she's been a warden and past president of the American Corrections Association. She's just a all around badass.
She's
Let's
a
just say
badass.
it.
She is fierce.
And I was telling her that I kind of that story. This is before I think I contacted Christian. Maybe, I'm not sure, but she said, well, she was in Baton Rouge and she was doing special projects at the New Orleans jail. And she said, I think we reached out to them to do a special at Loyola to do a special project at the jail. And anyway, she was supposed to meet with Christian like in the next week or two.
Yes.
And anyway, they met and they're doing projects together and research, and they have this.
Everybody's adjacent.
Yes.
Everybody's
adjacent.
I know.
Yes.
So I love them, and
man.
when I went down to Baton Rouge, she took me to New Orleans, and we had brunch with Christian. I saw him for the first time since
I love it.
back when he was 20 years old. It was beautiful.
I love that.
Yeah, it was beautiful. So that's it. And I'll just say this, Jody, in our work, and Shelly, you know this too, like you work with kids at their most vulnerable, difficult moments in their families. And then many times you don't know how it comes out. And, in this situation, like, it just makes me feel like my career was really worthwhile.
Validated.
And, I feel really good about my career because,
You
hard
touch
work.
lives.
Yeah.
You help people.
Yeah. And he helped show me that,
But
kids
I
can
want to
move
say,
forward.
like, all of those
I love
students out there, if you had a teacher or an educator that really stuck with you and
Reach out to them.
reach out to that. They want
Mhm.
to hear it. They want
Mhm.
to hear how you're doing. We've run into a couple of Jody's students now
Mhm.
that are
Mhm.
adults, and I mean,
At
we
Matt's.
love it at Matt's.
That's the beauty of you living here, because you'll
Or you buy 'em a drink.
It's
You're
like,
well, hey, you know.
yeah, and then we run into Katie Pena's, students all the time, and we love that. We love to see where are they now, what are they doing now. We think about because I volunteered a lot in Jody's class, and I worked at Anderson for a while, and those kids still reach out. Thank goodness for Facebook on that thing. It's like I see all the IB students, and I'm so grateful to see where they ended up.
It's a
and
great
so,
thing.
Yeah,
It's a great thing.
so good.
Well, I learned so much from you.
Yeah.
We would share kind of war stories, I guess, from Mary. But you can already tell Mary has just a heart of gold, and her voice sounds like a counselor's voice, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It makes you just.
It's like it's like
butter.
EMDR.
Yeah.
It's like an EMDR
like butter.
session. It's like so butter.
I wanted to share with you both, like, something that I think I share with you, kind of in connection with what you just said, Jody. But in my whole, and I don't know how this came to be, but in my whole, like, teaching career and counseling and, all my, work, whatever, I've always had the mantra, I guess is the right way to say it, but any situation, like how a teacher's treating a kid or how, the system is treating a kid or their family, I always think, if this were my child, would this be good enough? Would this be acceptable?
Right.
And so many times it was not.
Right.
Yeah.
And, I felt like it was my, obligation, if you will, or role to, like, try and intervene as much as I could. And I know you are like that. And Shelly, I know that you're like that. And, you can't say that about everyone.
Helping
right?
that teacher, giving them tools. Here, let me help you. This kid, we just had a meeting this week about a kiddo, and I was like, let me give you a little insight about this kiddo's background.
Yeah.
Because maybe you don't know what that kiddo is dealing with on the daily. It's not like everybody. It's not like that teacher's background. Teachers don't always know what's in their backpack.
Yeah, what's in the
What
backpack?
a kid is bringing every day to school.
How
And
heavy, like a 5-year-old kid,
A little
has already
5-year-old kid.
seen a parent go to prison and another parent
Or
die,
a mental
and
hospital,
is living with
whatever.
Mima, and you forget about that, and I
You don't know what their traumas are.
and it's not just teachers. It's like people at TEA at the state level making decisions that
Don't get me started.
they forget that there's kids, and it's like these are still humans, guys. So I always sent Coulters like a Christmas card every year, and reminded them, everybody at TEA, about Coulter.
Yeah.
You're making decisions about
this
somebody
kid.
with autism, and this is a human, and don't forget.
That's what you're
That's
in
your
the job
job.
for. Is
That's
for
your job.
humans. It's
It's
not
like-
like you're
Yeah.
doing a job that is not about humans.
Yeah.
This is human
It's so
lives.
easy to look at a piece of paper or data, whatever, and think you're making the right decision for something, and not take into account that everybody's a human.
I had that philosophy before I had a son.
Mhm.
And then once you have one, it's like times 100,
Yeah.
and it's
Oh, you really could put yourself in people's shoes.
I mean,
then.
even more.
Oh, it changes. It changes how, once you have your own kid, how you're reacting to every other. That's somebody's kid. That's somebody that. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
I mean,
for
with all
sure.
that being said, and you've accomplished so much, what would you say is your biggest accomplishment?
Oh,
We're all sitting back watching this show.
I think just for my life, the thing I'm most proud of is having a great son and raising him.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, he's a joy, and
You and Joanna have done such a great job with Emmett. He's such a kind-hearted kid. They're in town, and Emmett goes, am I going to get to go see Georgia, the puppy? And I was like,
Yeah,
of
have some
course.
Georgia time. Yeah.
And I can have some home slice. Yeah. You could do all those things. He is such a love bug.
He's
my
great.
goodness.
And I think it really helped me being an older parent.
Yeah.
Older when I had him.
Because you had had so much experience.
I think so. Much more patient, and I much rather would be home with him or do something with him than like go out or whatever. That just wasn't. I had lived a whole lifetime. It seems like before that.
You lived in the what did y'all call that?
The fraternity
compound, the frat house.
That sounds so
It
fun.
was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's the true blessing, for me. But yeah, Joanna's a great mom, and we're real. I've always been real focused on him together. So
Yes. When you put your kid first,
No.
it all will work out. It usually works out.
No.
So going back to
sorry, that was the first question you had.
No, I love it. This is so
this is
great.
what this is all about.
Storytelling.
Oh,
I'm down
man.
for it.
More, please.
So I know leaving Austin must have been difficult, but what is something that you miss about Austin? Or what is hard? What
I
was
miss
hard
the
about-
traffic. No,
I was like, that's weird.
nobody
Says
ever.
nobody.
no. I mean, we talk about this, quite a bit, especially when we come to visit
Home
Austin.
slice.
We miss food. Well, we missed our family
Yes,
most of
of
all.
course.
Of course, that goes
A
without
softball.
saying. But yeah, we miss the food. We found up there.
Like their Mexican food sucks.
It's just not. Yeah,
It
just put
sucks.
out there.
I'm sorry. I've eaten at
and-
almost every Mexican restaurant in Fort Collins, and it sucks.
I mean,
Yeah, it's weird.
I'll have like colleagues, friends that I've made or whatever. I'm like, "What's your go-to?" And they'll tell us, and we'll go and we'll be excited. And it's like, oh,
Ugh. Yeah.
So anyway, we're still searching out.
I mean,
the
our
food
gas
thing.
station Mexican food is better than any Mexican food in Colorado.
And
No offense.
mind you, I lived in San Antonio for
And
20
Corpus. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
lived in
Yeah.
the best Mexican
Oh, my
food
God.
ever.
San Antonio.
San Antonio,
Holy
you
moly.
just can't go wrong. On every corner, there's like
Yeah.
a mom and pop,
Oh, my
this and
gosh.
that. But
Those are the best ones.
so the food, miss friends, of course. And,
Friends,
But,
family, food.
yeah,
But what's the live music? I know y'all love live music.
yeah, but there's really cool venues in Fort Collins, and we've heard some really great
we went,
music there. It's really accessible.
Yeah, we went somewhere. I texted you while we were there. It was a little theater right next to campus, and it was so much fun.
Yeah. So there's some good that, and we've been to Boulder quite a bit to see. A lot of people come to Colorado because they want to get
Red
out
Rock.
of the heat. So, and Red Rocks is there. And we've seen some. So,
Oh my gosh. Yes, I
we
want to go
get
there
to
so
do
bad.
that. That's good up there. And I found it here when we lived here. It was so expensive, and so like if you didn't get tickets the day before they went on sale, like you know what I mean? Like and up there it's a little easier to manage.
I could see
all of
that.
Well, and it's a college town, and that brings so much to the table. It's a cute little.
It is.
We love Fort Collins. It's a
Yeah,
special place for
we
us.
started going to like their college. Their orchestra stuff and their jazz and their, Emmett just,
Emmett's into
digs
music.
that. Yeah.
Is he in the band?
He is in the orchestra.
Oh,
plays
nice.
viola, and then he's taking bass guitar lessons.
Right.
Nice.
And he's totally
With
into
that
classic
hair.
rock. And,
Yes.
With that hair and oh man.
And he reminds me a lot of Harry's good friend Will.
Oh,
Who
nice.
he's at Trinity now, but he has his own little jazz band that they play all the
nice.
time. And they go to different venues and play. And then he moved in with his friends that are in the band, and then they play all the time. He's really into music, and I think it's so lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish one of my kids would have really gravitated to it. I
hey,
thought
hold-
Harry might.
Hold please.
he's
you
nice.
never know.
You never know. You never
Yeah.
know.
I mean, you just want them to find their jam, right? And so,
Definitely.
like him getting into
Him in the
this.
triangle.
When Harry was at Lamar Middle School, he was really little. Now he's like 6 feet tall. I don't know what happened. And he was having to
He's a big
just
papa.
carry this giant, like 3 drum thing. And he's going across the field and then up these steps. And then I'm just watching him like, why did they give that to the littlest guy? And so then he's like trudging up there, and the band director sees my face like, oh my gosh. And they said, could somebody help Harry? And then Harry gets up there, gets in place, and he pulls out his triangle, and then ding!
What? He had to slip it all the way up there?
Slip it all that way, and all he had was this teeny tiny triangle. It was hilarious.
Oh, Harry's stories. They're
Harry's
the
stories
best.
are one of my favorites.
Oh my
He's just-
gosh.
he's so funny. So speaking of food, so when John was little, we've told this story that I don't know if you heard the first
tells it-
podcast,
Yeah. Well,
and then it's on this next one.
yeah, it's on the next one.
But
We interviewed John.
he talks about how he would, when his mom would say, help us with the dishes, John, he would like lick the plates and then put them back up on.
What? I didn't know that.
Your mom knew it too.
Your mom knew.
When we interviewed Martha, she was like, "Oh yeah, we had to explain to him, no, wash."
He thought he was helping, but
Yeah.
our question that we asked people was like, have you ever had a food that was like
mean-
a lick the plate clean
Like,
food?
you wanted
just
to-
wish you could
you
just lick
wanted-
that plate. It was so good.
Like mine was Giacomo's in New Orleans. Like I just wanted to
Oh,
lick the plate.
oh my God.
I mean, I know you're
so
a good,
many-
you're a good
so
cook,
many-
so.
So much of that. Yeah.
You've had some good meals.
Oh gosh. I love cooking with John. and
Yeah.
I know it's
We
art.
Can I tell a little COVID story about John and I?
Yeah, whatever. Tell it.
That's an open book.
So,
You can do it.
Can't embarrass
So,
us.
well, this is just silly, but John, I just love John so much, and he's just so sweet.
He is.
And I love what you said about your favorite restaurant and wherever John's cooking. I thought that was so I feel the same way.
Yeah.
But during COVID, nobody was around each other, so we decided, I guess it was Christmas, we could safely go to the ranch and come
There's enough
together, and
space.
just kind of whatever. And so John and I texted each other, and we were like, "Let's fry chicken. That would be fun,
Oh, yeah,
whatever."
they make the best fried chicken.
And so, we were excited that he and I were going to do this together. And so we're like, okay, we're going to fry chicken, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the day of, I guess it was Christmas morning or whatever, he's like, hey, do you think we should get the chicken out and let it, get room temperature? And I'm like, yeah, go ahead or whatever. And I'm like, and he's like, no, you go ahead or whatever, He thought I brought the chicken.
Oh.
And I thought he brought the chicken. We didn't communicate fully about who was doing that.
Yeah.
And
I
so
remember
it was
that.
I don't think this has ever happened.
No.
I was a little
Yeah.
mad at him, and he was a little mad at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know how we are.
I think everybody was so excited to gather.
Yeah.
I wasn't mad at him, but we're
No,
both
but you're like, wait,
I-
what?
yeah,
We
yeah.
both missed the ball. Yeah.
And so
So funny.
somebody had brought a dozen meat pies that were in the fridge. So we
yeah.
got the meat pies
Oh,
out, and
those
we
are
had other
delish.
stuff, and so
Yeah.
it was fine. But
Yeah.
it was
Well, but thinking about having homemade fried chicken from
I know.
John, and then you,
I know.
and then you get a meat pie.
we're gonna have so much fun
I'm
doing it.
sorry, those Nakanish meat pies.
Yeah,
They're
good.
delicious, but,
anyway,
I mean,
it was the only time I can remember John and I being a little irritated with each
oh,
other.
that's so funny. When it
Not
was
even
such
when
a
he hit
weird-
you with a bat when you were little?
No, he's so cute. You can't be mad at John.
Oh,
He
yeah.
is very funny. Mary, we're going to tell a story together, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So when I met Mary, I've been married to John for 31 years, right?
And when we met Mary, I
Wow.
immediately was like,
just
I was
love
like, oh
Mary.
my
I was
gosh,
like,
we
yes.
have a new sister.
Oh my God.
I love her so much.
And
you were like I think you were the clincher for
oh my
you
gosh,
gotta
you're
marry
like,
this
do I get
guy.
to be in that
Just so
family
we
with
can have
her? I'm so
Mary.
excited.
I love that. I love hearing that.
There's something about
Definitely.
Mary.
Something about Mary. But Mary had not come out to her parents. And, that was stressful for you. And
Mhm.
you were so it was a stressful time. But I remember we went to
And
Disneyland.
it was a different
It was a different time. But
historically. Like it was a
Yes.
different time. It's not today where
Yes.
hopefully people feel more
I
comfortable.
mean, it was
Hope so.
a risk of your relationship and your
Yes.
safety and all of that.
Yes. And in some places it
It's still that
is.
way in some places, yeah.
But
yes.
But Mary and I and John and Peyton and Graham and Papa had all gone to Disneyland in Florida.
Yeah, they asked me to go with them, and I was like, sure, I'll tag along, you know.
Yeah. And Mary had not come out to her parents, but we all knew. John, we all knew. And
I knew.
Bob and everybody else. But
Everybody's like, duh.
and I don't even know why Graham and Papa didn't like connect everything because she had bought like a house with somebody.
Well,
and
but
then,
I think it just wasn't on the radar.
I don't know. I think they
yeah.
were just like living in the dark, you
Yeah.
know. They were like putting their head in the sand. But love them. Anyway, but we're at Disney and I'm hearing over like the announcements in the hotel that today at Disney is gay day. And everybody was going to be wearing what color?
Red.
Red. So I told, it's breakfast, and I go, Mary, today is gay day. Well, I'm a jokester, and she thought I was doing a prank on her. She goes, what did you say?
Well, I was just getting to know Jody, and those of you who know Jody, like she's, you know, prankster, and like that was pretty foreign to our family. Like Jody,
Oh.
you know, Bob and I were talking about like you were such a
Feral.
no, no, you were just what our family needed. Like we needed to be like
Aw.
shook up, and we needed like a sense of humor, and we were, you know what I mean. Like Jody was such a
Poor
breath of
Bob. I think Bob's
fresh
like,
air.
oh my God, dump her.
I,
Is that
yeah,
what he- Straight
no,
up, John.
I think Bob has now adopted it.
I know,
He's
it's
like,
taken him a while.
He's
I
like,
think.
okay, I'm ready for the ride now. Where he was like,
oh, this is gonna be wild. No, I know. He like,
you know what I mean?
love my
Like
brother
Jody
Bob.
was such a wild card, you know.
Yeah.
And I, you know, so when Jody, I remember, you know, Jody's like, oh, well, did you hear that it's going to be gay day at, you know, Disney World? We're going to the Magic Kingdom. Oh, that's
Right.
how I remember. We're walking over
Yeah.
or whatever. And I was like, shut up, Jody. Because she's always like trying to mess with me, you know. And she and I was like, no, it's not. And because I was like, you know, it was hard, my relationship with my,
Yeah.
you know, my parents
for
or
a
whatever.
while. Yeah.
And she's like, not only is it gay day, but all the gay people are going to be wearing red. And I'm like, shut up, Jody. And we look over at my mom, and my mom has on a red and white gingham outfit. And I was like, you are kidding me.
oh my God.
I could not write that. I was like, somebody needs to do a play on this.
This is so
And then we see, and I'm like, this is hell on earth in my head. I'm like,
Yeah.
this is hell. And we look over, and this guy's got this red T-shirt on. It says, you have to be this tall to ride this ride. And I'm like, oh
no.
And it's like very flamboyant.
And
People are
everywhere
celebrating who they
everywhere we
are.
went, and I was just like, oh my God. And I think I said, I'm going to go back to the pool at the hotel. I couldn't take
You
it,
love
Shelly.
Magic
way.
Kingdom.
Oh man, it was
You
a
looked
trip.
around and saw
And
that
I'm
guy in
like,
that shirt and your mom wearing
and a
her
sea of
gingham
red, and I'm like, I can't handle it.
I could not. I was like, this should be a play.
Oh man.
I was like, Mary, you and I are going to create a play where we're going to write about your life and all your amazingness, but it's going to be about that day too.
Oh, that was.
Oh my
that
God.
was
Oh my
something
gosh.
else,
I felt
Jody.
so bad for Mary. I was like, oh no, my poor sister.
Hey, I have to ask, because I've heard this from Jody, but I want to hear your version of the story.
Mhm.
Is when y'all went to Little Rock.
That's always the basis of my
Why she didn't
thinking
trust
she's a
me?
prankster. Oh my gosh.
Well,
This is rated R.
I mean, I grew up with her, and I mean, she was not always a prankster, but I mean, we had a solid pranking happening in our homes always.
Oh my
So
gosh.
Jody was probably the least pranker in our
Yeah.
family, and so
I
that
was really shocked.
so when she would tell us these stories, we believed them for years, for decades.
Oh, right.
We-
Because I said
hook,
that my
line, and
neighbor was
sinker.
doing the
Actually,
Fly Master naked on the window.
Oh,
She
that
never
wasn't true.
did that.
That wasn't true.
See?
Oh, I thought that was.
She was naked on the window. Like she would just walk. She had this huge bay window, and she would just walk in front of it. And I was like, "Oh my eyes, where am I going to look?" And then I was telling Mary that at Halloween, our neighbors we all got together in the cul-de-sac, and our neighbor was like, "You know what we should do? with the full moon coming up, because it's a beaver moon, we should all go in my backyard and be naked together. And I was like, never will I ever do that.
I bet John was mortified. And
He said he kept leaving.
John's
He kept leaving. He's in like a fetal position.
John.
But we went to Little Rock. Peyton was a baby, and your parents took us to this amazing hot springs spa
Hotel.
hotel. It was very famous.
That's the
And-
first time I've been around you.
That was our first time really hanging out. I was drinking amaretto sours. Like, those were the best drinks ever. Oh, what?
I have heartburn
What was
just
I
thinking.
thinking?
You brought it back this year. You had an amaretto.
I think I
sour.
did. And I was like, what? Anyway, so you go down into this basement, and it's a hot spring bathing place.
Yeah, it's a spa, and they have massages and all the things.
And so you get, and I'm very modest. I'm a never nude
from Arrested Development.
from Arrested Development. And so you have to get naked, and you get into this hot tub, and this African American woman grabbed my leg with a scrub brush and start scrubbing in between my like legs and thighs and everything. And I'm just sitting there like, she goes, girl, don't worry about it. I've seen everything. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I am in hell. And so I go up, we're drinking an amaretto sour. Mary's up at the hotel bar. We're sitting there. I said, Mary, how was your treatment? And Mary goes, mine was great. I said, did they stick that thing up your hoo-ha?
And I was like, what? And she started telling me the story about all the things this woman did. And I was like, no. Oh, my God. And I believed you.
That did not happen.
Hook, line, and sinker.
I did not know.
Because
Like,
I would just said it so like, did they stick that thing up your hoo-ha, your noo-noo?
No, and she told us, have a long distance phone call, and she would tell us these stories, and we were like, where are they? Where are those winds taking her?
oh, yeah, the winds. Oh, right. Oh, God. Well, I didn't have a sister. My cousin Mary's like my big sister and my, my protector and enforcer and all. But like, I didn't have like a, like,
oh man, it's
four
such
of
a
y'all.
gift.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, Jody. Like, I believed her and like,
You thought she was violated. We were like, what happened?
It did not happen.
What's going
I
on?
was totally
But
teasing
Jody was-
Mary. Because I love Mary's faces. She's just, because as a counselor, you hear it all.
Yeah, and you got to
And
be
so she
just
tries
poker.
to just be really poised and everything, but you could tell she was
It was
just
uncomfortable.
dying.
Yeah.
And then I'm just sitting there drinking that awful amaretto sour. What,
But
did that not happen to
How
you?
long did you believe that to be true? Until today?
No.
I
told her.
She told me at some point. But anyway, I was like, Jody, oh my gosh, I believed you.
Poor
And
thing. You got violated.
I was like, well, it was a little weird because they were just kind of like,
Scrubbing the
I know.
inside of my thighs. And I was like,
It was
I
a
don't
little-
know if I should feel turned
I
on
was a
right
little-
now.
I was
when
a
you
little
just had a
uncomfortable.
baby. I
know,
mean,
I
you
knew
were
that.
like,
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And so on top of the discomfort of being a never nude, and then
Well,
Yeah.
also, I did not like.
she doesn't
The-
like a foot massage.
I know, I don't like it. But I did not like the optics of all these rich white people going down into the basement. I thought that was so gross. Like, I was embarrassed about that, the optics of that. I thought it was awful. But that aside,
on top.
watching Mary's face when I told her.
But how long did you believe that story?
Until I told her. After
know.
my
How, like-
third amaretto.
No,
I'm
I don't know.
obsessed.
I don't recall the unknowing. It was
The
true.
unknowing.
I just remember the sheer like, oh my gosh. But, and Jody, I think you're just kind of getting to know like how my parents are and
Yeah.
us and kind of how,
Well,
Well,
you
I
would-
knew that they
you
were
would
all
never-
screwed real tight. And I wanted to shake it up.
You never share that story with Grandma and Papa though, right?
No. I embarrassed Graham enough.
I know.
know.
Yeah.
I do like to say little off-color things around Graham
like
just
to
to kind of see what she
Disrupt her a
thinks.
little bit.
I like to say
Yeah.
like what do you think of that guy, Graham? You think he's hot? You know, things like
Oh, her dating life is like one of our favorite topics.
she's not dating anyone, Shelly.
Yeah, her friendships.
Well, her
You
and
know-
Michael broke up.
You know, one of the funniest stories is when we went to see the Lhasa band.
Oh my gosh. Yes, Mary.
Reagan Homecoming.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So Cameron was at Lhasa, which it was the old LBJ like magnet program, Lhasa and LBJ. And LBJ and Reagan have a fierce competition with one another that spans from the time they open. And I love
Casey Reed and cousin Will can discuss that as well.
Yes, and Trey. And I love their rivalry, but it was Reagan's
Homecoming.
And the girl, so they line up
So we were there. All Graham,
Emmett, you,
Emmett.
me, John, and Cameron's in the band, but they're not performing because when it's homecoming in Texas, they take up the whole halftime show.
Yes.
And Reagan brought out their dancers, and oh my gosh, they just stole the show. It didn't matter if somebody was wearing a giant crown, was crowned the homecoming queen in the court. It was the drill team. So the band comes out and they're doing their thing, and it's great. Then the drill team comes out, and they are just shaking what God gave them, just out on that field.
And it went on forever.
They were doing
because
the same
they would
move.
introduce each, princess or whatever
Shelly.
it was. And
It was this.
And they were,
like that.
And there was one guy, remember?
There was one very good dancer out on the field. I was taking notes.
It
How
was
did
like
they move their heads like that?
You're
It
like
was like
5,
when
6.
Joanna and I took Emmett to the Nelly concert this past summer. It was like that. Similar.
It was amazing.
all
Janet
the
Jackson,
grinding.
Nelly
I did not know y'all
concert.
did that.
Yeah, we did. But tell her about Graham.
And Graham's watching, and they're like, she goes, "They're really going for it out there."
And Emmett was just like,
His
"What
eyes
is
are big
happening?"
and saucers, and Harry's like, "What is going on right here?"
Oh, my land.
And she's like, "Yeah, they're just going for it." They're going
my
for
mom.
it.
Yeah, that
I
was so
remember
funny.
one of my favorite cheers that LBJ would do is like, "You don't want no LBJ. You don't want no LBJ. But if you want some LBJ, come in, get some." They like, I love that. But we couldn't understand what they were saying. So John and I thought they were saying, "You don't want no milk today. You don't want no milk today. But if you want some milk today, come in, get some."
Oh my!
And so every time they pull that, and everybody loved that cheer. That was like my favorite.
Gosh, yeah.
Oh my gosh, I miss those days. I loved when Cameron was in the
being a
band,
band
LBJ, and then Harry went to McCallum. Not as much fun.
Not as much fun. No.
The van life. They were so serious, but LBJ, those kids got into it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
But
that's
Reagan, LBJ.
that's a great. That was a great memory.
Oh my gosh, they're really going for it.
Graham. We need to bring that up and ask Graham
We
if she
do.
remembers.
And the thing is, Graham has had eye problems. And she says she can't see very well, but that woman sees just fine. Don't let her fool you. She could find a stain a mile away.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a spot right there. Can you go
crack
clean
in
that
the
right there? And I'm like, Graham, your eyesight is fine.
Maybe it's far away, but the books, like the words are
Well,
hard.
she read a whole book and so she sees fine. She's doing very well with her eyesight.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, man.
And every time we go and see her eye doctor, she'll say, I cannot see. And then she reads those things, and she reads them all like perfect. You know how you have to read the letters?
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, Graham, you're trying to pull the wool over our eyes. Mary, what do you have coming up before we end our time together? Any big things?
Well, I'm just in a really interesting place in my life, I think, right now. And
Second mountain. You're on the second mountain.
I love it.
it's Joanna and I are 14 years apart. I don't know if y'all knew that.
Wow.
But we are like
She's a lucky woman.
well, interesting. Our age difference didn't seem to matter that much earlier in our relationship, but right now I'm in a place where I'm retired and I'm doing this great. I work part-time for the Parks Department.
Oh my
in
gosh.
Fort Collins.
She's living the best life, Shelly.
And I work at these beautiful parks, and in the summer I mow grass, and in the winter I plow snow, and I just drive around and make sure everything's all right at the park. It's just like the funnest
oh my
thing.
Gosh,
I'm can't
so
believe they
jelly
pay me for
I
that.
saw Bob on his tractor at the ranch.
So
and
happy.
I've never seen him smile like that.
He's so
Just
happy.
Y'all were all meant to just
I
be
love
on a
it.
mower.
I love it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's so great. Listen to music or a podcast and just
Yeah.
make it all beautiful.
Well, now you got something to
Yeah.
listen to.
I know.
I know. But I'm in this place of I'm taking classes at CSU. There's a program they have it here at UT. It's called the Osher Lifelong Learning
Yeah?
Institute, and they have one at CSU, and it's so great. It's like a course catalog, like a college catalog, like history courses, art, politics,
I love that.
whatever, and it's taught by a lot of community experts and a lot of retired professors in the
love it.
field. And I've taken some amazing courses, and I can't wait for the catalog to come out for spring. I'm kind of waiting for it. But last semester I took a mindful birding class, which was just
Mindful learning.
birding.
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 And
We can talk birds.
and one on tree identification. But the birding class was so great. It was just about being, going out to in nature and just being kind of one with what's happening and listening to the sounds and starting to, recognize the types of birds or whatever. And I just love stuff
Your
like
dad would
that.
love that.
Yes.
I just being a lifelong learner that you're just taking classes.
Yeah, and I took a
How
history
fun.
course of the, that area, which was fascinating. But one class I took was on death and dying, just everything you need to know about, all the things you need to do to prepare for kind of
What a
this
great
next
idea.
chapter, and if you're caretaking
Today
for
in Death
someone.
and Dying.
Well, I mean, it's
But that was fun.
It's so important. Thank you for being
yeah.
proactive.
It really, it
that.
absolutely is.
Shelly gave us a book for Amy's birthday about it.
I mean,
It's like planning for your death.
y'all throwing me off my what I'm talking about.
No, I love it. History of Fort Collins.
But I took
Death and
I took a class also in I forgot the name of it, but it was something about how to have a amazing retirement chapter in your life, and talked about a lot of things, but one of them was he's like, and he's talking to a room of 40, retired or almost retired, doctors and professional, all these high flying, folk,
awesome.
right? And he's like, you're not going to like this, but people don't care about what you used to do when you retire. Nobody cares about, back in the, day and blah, blah. It's important. It's a part of who you are and, all of that. But
They want to know what you're doing now.
yeah, it's what you're doing now. It's what you're curious about, it's about looking forward to the, and doing things this way and not just focused on this way. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
And so,
I like both.
yeah, totally. He's like, you find that mix. I mean, you know who you are and your experiences, and that's so rich. But this is a time to get rid of people from your life that you don't want to mess with anymore, and get rid of things that don't
Cut the
bring you
drag.
joy.
Cut the
Right.
drag. Yeah.
Yeah, and just
Protect your peace.
yeah, and figure out how you want to spend your day and what makes you happy, and all the things that just do a re-inventory of moving forward. And
That's all those self-help books that I like to read, Jody.
I hate self-help books.
I know.
But I mean, it's
love
just kind
them.
of really cut out things that
Trim the fat.
yeah, exactly. So that was really, really good. I love that class. That was really fun.
I love that you're
And,
doing things that bring you joy, because you worked so hard in your career,
Thank you.
No.
and it was hard.
Thank you.
It's not one of those easy jobs, and And so when you're getting
And you
to do
left
something
you
that
left it all. I mean, you put it all out there.
you put it all out there,
Yeah.
and now you're doing something that's for you, and then Emmett's getting to see
Oh
the
my
second
gosh.
chapter of your life,
Oh,
and
I
you're
love
seeing you
it.
blossom and bloom and be so happy, and I
And
think that's what you want
that
for
you
everybody.
continue to learn, that you're a lifelong learner.
And
I love
the
it.
the part of you never lose that part of you that wants to like help others and
No,
make
yeah.
connections in that way. And I
Yeah.
find that I do that. I still do that, but I do
Right.
it with like young people that I work with. There's a lot of really cool like college kids and younger people that come and work in the parks and all that. And like I love that. I love, kind of mentoring, just kind of in a different way.
It's more intentional, don't you think? It's like more intentional connections.
Because
it's like,
it's not your job.
Right.
But
It's
it's
not my
something
job.
those skills have helped you, and now you're building and helping others in a different way.
Yeah.
But I
love
love like, just taking interest in some of especially the young men that I work with. And they just love that. Like I'm like I don't know, mom figure or whatever to them, whatever, but I don't know. I love that. And I still get that part of me nurtured. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I still
and that's the
can
blue
do
zone. The
those.
blue zone community is like the connections. Keeping those connections going is extending your living. Like you're going to live longer because you're still connecting instead of isolating.
And
it's so good for your brain,
I have a couple of seniors, like my neighbor next door, and like we have a family up there. Joanna's stepmother's family lives in Fort Collins, and they are lovely people. They're amazing, and they've kind of adopted us into their family. And we go there for Thanksgiving. Emmett and I are going to go there for Christmas. Joanna has to work, but they're amazing, and I love the matriarch of that family. She's my mom's age. And Emmett and I go over, and we've gone over to see her at her assisted living place. And, we just love her. It's just continuing to find those
I love it.
connections, like you said.
Yeah.
And
we love when you guys come in town. And John and I can't wait to take our casita up to Fort Collins this summer. We're going to plan a little trip up there.
Oh, good. Yeah, let's plan it at the same time because we'll be up in Fort Collins
for sure.
again.
That would be great.
Yeah, Adrian will be there a lot
with
this summer.
Tristan.
Yeah,
good. I'm just gonna be more intentional about my hiking. I have a lot of like trail, like Rocky Mountain. I really want to explore it. I haven't. We've only been up there.
Fort Collins has a beautiful park right next to it. That's right on the lake. Have you ever
Horsetooth?
Yes.
The reservoir. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, everything
there's
in
so
Colorado
many.
is
There's so many
Yeah.
natural areas and trails and stuff.
Well, y'all's park system is one that, like, I've talked to Randy Scott, who manages our parks here, and he's like, Fort Collins is like
Will you ask
the
him when
goal.
that bridge is opening up?
The goal, like,
Yeah, it's the gold standard. I would say. I mean, it's just amazing. I love
It's
working for
top-notch.
them. It's just like so.
I think that's the best
love
part.
it.
Is
I
like,
love it.
You get to do that. So
And like I said, CSU, which is in Fort Collins, has the horticulture program, forestry, veterinarian school. Like they're so focused on all of that, and so those are the people that I work with.
oh my lands. They have a botanical garden that is top notch.
wow,
It's stunning.
Yeah. So it's all these amazing. My shop where I work, my boss is great. I mean, they're so like knowledgeable, and the forestry department has a division there, and these guys go out and the trees. You know how beautiful they are in Fort Collins, and they manage them, and they have all this huge equipment, and it's just. It's just fun to be around.
Yeah.
People
If
who
you
do
hear
that.
of any jobs in the forestry, let us know for Hayden.
Well, hey, they're always looking for people who want to shimmy up a tree.
Oh,
I mean, that's fun to watch too. But it's just a real. I'm just in my element.
Yes, you are.
Man.
Even when I was little, my dad. I don't know if you know this, but. In the summers, we would go to Greeley, Colorado.
Yeah.
He worked on his PhD.
Your mom was telling us.
PhD there.
Yeah.
And so, they didn't have any money really. So we would go camping in Rocky Mountain.
Yep.
National Park.
Yeah, she was telling us all about it, and she lit up like a Christmas
She
tree
did.
talking
And
about
I
it.
have such good memory. And I felt like, it was just in me from a young age, to live there and whatever. But there's this great picture of my mom and I don't know if you've seen it. We're at one of the lakes in Rocky Mountain. You see the lake and the mountains in the background. And she's in her dress and, skirt and blouse or whatever. And I'm in my shorts and, climbing on a rock or whatever. It was like her and me, the little tomboy and my mom and, and this, I don't know, it's kind of.
Southern Belle.
The Southern Belle.
It symbolizes a
And
lot
Mary.
with my mom and I,
Yeah.
right? Kind of how different we are, but how much, we're
Still
connected. And so.
Will you send me a copy of that picture when
it's
you?
great.
It's great.
I've seen it. It's
I'd
really
love
cute.
to see it.
Well,
we're-
Mary, this has been one of my favorite things today.
I know. I can't. I
I
mean,
wish
we're
we
just
didn't
gonna
have
have
to
to.
stop.
I know.
I'm just so honored that y'all asked me.
Oh my
gosh.
We're so
We
honored
are-
that
Talk a
you're
little bit.
taking the time.
I love your story.
We hope you
So-
come back often.
Yeah.
Like every
well,
time you're
and
in
we can do it
town.
from afar. We can do it on
we can
Zoom.
do it. Nah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
thank
I love
y'all.
it. I
It's
love
a
anything you learn from
treat.
those classes to like
Yes.
get on. It's like, hey, what did you learn this week?
Hey,
Yeah.
That would be
yes.
fun.
Well, we love you, Mary.
We love you so much.
love you, Shelly, Jody, my fave, my
Oh my
fave
gosh,
girls.
these are so fun.
Texas, Texas. Yeehaw!